less money. So any response to it has to take into consideration a cheaper option, a more cost-effective option. People will be very frugal. People will be very sensible with their spending. Are we seeing that? We certainly are. So worldwide, we are seeing a recession. The largest economy in the world, the United States, has hit recession. It's in that -5 to -15% reversal of the GDP. China will grow, but will grow at a much lower pace, where it's traditionally been over the last few years, 7 to 10%, it will grow somewhere between 2.5 to 5%. Okay? Other countries are showing a negative effect on their GDP. And we can see the effect of that in the number of shoppers. So just for a week, looking at the annual change, in China, you can see 32% less shoppers going and buying things. And this is essentially checked with how many people are going to shops and how much sales are we looking over there. And you can see a flattening out. And these are advanced economies. So if you're not able to sell, then we have to think about what would be a way to overcome this. So how is it affecting us? These are some screens I showed you, but what does it mean? Well, the United Nations reckons that if it continues at this pace, nearly half of the world's jobs are at risk. Again, think as an entrepreneur, that's a huge risk there, because that means your potential target market is decreasing at a rapid rate. It's also going to change the way we do things. So tourism, aviation, entertainment, these industries are suffering the most. Just this morning, I was reading that the United Nations has tipped $4.8 trillion loss in the tourism worldwide. Again, very large numbers. As I said, some economies, Australia, New Zealand, even Fiji, have closed their boundaries to international tourists. There's no international flights allowed in, except for cargo. And that means all the businesses that relied on tourism are going to be affected. So these will be temporary losses, but there will be some jobs that will be permanently lost. You may have witnessed that in your own areas that you live in, but I can give you examples of how things have changed in my area. If I go to get some food, there's no longer that many people serving me food or taking my order. It's done through machines. And instead of cash, it's all electronic credit card transferred through tapping. The idea is to remove or reduce interaction between people to avoid spreading of COVID. Now, companies that are investing in the new technology and finding savings from not having to pay people will continue with that even after COVID goes. So the effects of this will be permanent. We will see permanent job losses in industries such as hospitality. And as we know, hospitality sector is one of the largest sector in terms of hiring people. So the losses are, again, very realistic. So now that we know what the scenario is, what is normal, as we want to call it that, what is the problem, how it's affecting us, let's now talk about what opportunities there are, because entrepreneurs don't leave opportunities when there's pandemics or when there's disruption. This is the time where we see a lot of entrepreneurial activity. So we have to start off by understanding essentially what is entrepreneurship all about. And Schumpeter can be credited for giving us entrepreneurship as an idea. And entrepreneurship essentially, as Schumpeter says, is all about finding new opportunities in chaos. Or the term, as he used, was creative destruction. you have to change the way things are done in order to be successful. Usually that means that if it's in what we call regular time periods, companies or entrepreneurs have to come up with ideas that will change or make people change things. What we are looking at the moment is already change. So entrepreneurs don't have to change things. They have to take advantage of the situation. Now, looking at the entrepreneurial history, we also see that the best ideas or some of the most successful ideas have come out when there is chaos in the economy and in the society. Two such companies are Uber and Dropbox. They both started during the last financial crisis. Uber to try and help businesses cut down the cost on transport, cut down costs such as taxis, etc. And Dropbox because more people were moving away from physical records to electronic records and moving away from getting the office support for filing to self-filing documents. So we've seen these sort of changes come about. So let's look at what is being done and what can we expect. So the first thing I would say is we need to think about entrepreneurship not just as an individual or a small group of individuals coming up with ideas. We need to start thinking about intrapreneurship. Now, intrapreneurship is a relatively recent phenomena. What intrapreneurship says is that you need organizations or firms to start thinking like entrepreneurs. Large firms are historically risk averse. They don't like to take risk, and they don't come up with ideas that are risky. Entrepreneurs, on the other hand, do take risk. That's part of how they operate. What intrapreneurship says is that you either hire people who are entrepreneurs to work in your organization and let organizations have entrepreneurial ideas, or you let your staff, existing staff, work in an entrepreneurial manner. And we can see two aspects to it. So where are entrepreneurs going to be successful? Well, there'll be two areas to look at. One is very current short-term strategies, and one is a future long-term strategy. Let's go with the short-term strategy. The short-term strategy is no one was prepared for the changes that have taken place. I mean, we are on Zoom right now, and I've got Zoom written on the screen. No one was prepared for Zoom. It happened. We were told, move to Zoom. Some of you would have, some of us have, teach on Zoom, have meetings on Zoom. And we're still getting used to it. We're still getting used to the idea of communicating electronically. It's not normal. But Zoom has done extremely well. I mean, all you have to do is check every week by clicking for updates on your Zoom app, and you'll see every week they're bringing new updates because they need to continue making minor changes. They have to provide new functionality that wasn't there a few months ago because it wasn't required. Today, everyone's doing Zoom. This meeting is being recorded. It will be recorded to a cloud computing area. What about the space there? How will people access it? Will the servers be able to use that? Zoom was an entrepreneurial idea, very small, grown massively. In 3 months, it's earned the owner about $6 billion. That's huge profits to make. So an opportunity comes, take advantage of it. Now, a question here would be why a small, relatively small entrepreneurial idea of Zoom is more successful than, say, Skype or Microsoft Teams. In fact, Skype is much older than Zoom. Why is it that Zoom has been so successful while others haven't? Why not have WhatsApp? Why not have Viber? Why Zoom? And one of the good things about Zoom has been that it's worked well with the institutions around the world. Skype in the past has been banned in the Middle East due to political issues. Other programs such as WhatsApp are not available around the world. There isn't a global platform that's used. Zoom has been able to do that. So it's been quite successful. Netflix is another one that has taken advantage of it. People are sitting at home. They can't go anywhere. Cinemas are closed. So they've increased the content that's available to consumers online. So it's a very quick response that they've been able to do. At the bottom right of the screen, you're seeing the other change that's coming. People can't go out for dining. People can't go to restaurants. There's limitations on how many people, protective gear and so forth. So why not let those things come to you? Food delivery system's not new. But again, the uptake of this has been very rapid. And companies can't just continue the way they do. Again, Uber Eats, be it DoorDash, all of these things are not new, but they have to change their business system. You can't just have a delivery person come and bring you the food delivered. It would be no different from going in a restaurant and a waiter bringing it to you. So again, they have to take certain steps of how the food can be delivered near your house or outside of your house without that physical contact. How can it be done without any payment being made on the spot? Can it be done prepaid? How do they clean their equipment? Motorcycles or cars that are used for delivery, how do the delivery people keep their own health? These are a lot of things that take place. So an entrepreneurial strategy is not just to respond and do things that you did in the past. You have to change the way things are done. And we're seeing this idea of intrapreneurship again make a comeback. We're seeing practical examples. Right up till this year, if you asked me, can I give you examples of intrapreneurship, I would give you PlayStation's example with Sony, because that was a very entrepreneurial mindset used by a company. We don't have too many of those happening with large firms. China is an exception, and that's why Chinese entrepreneurs are so successful, because they have the institutional support for it. But when you think about larger firms, independent firms, not government-owned firms, examples are rare. But in COVID-19, we've seen it. We've seen entrepreneurial mindset. And it's about changing your mindset. So think about General Motors in America, a car manufacturing company that has now addressed the fact that people aren't going to buy cars. We've just seen the economies are in trouble. People don't have money to buy new cars. So how did they respond? They started moving the production to have more car technology, or the machinery that made car, to make respiratory systems. So they're providing respiratory systems for hospitals that need it. Instead of waiting for new to be bought from overseas, they're making it in the United States. Philips is doing the same. But what about non-technical areas? Well, let's have a look. H&M, the clothing manufacturing company, has started making protective gears for hospital. It's that rapid response thing. Zara is the same. There's a couple of things about Zara and H&M that we're aware of. They have a quick supply chain. They turn around as fast. The idea is they don't keep large stocks because of change in fashions. So they make some and then they move on. What is not sold, there's not much left. This year is, of course, different. So they've got the material that they've made. It has to be removed. What's left is gone. But what about next season? Again, people will not be buying as much as they have in the past. So why not use the knowledge and technology to make something that's more useful? Hospitals need protective gear. Protective masks. We're seeing fashion labels now come up with protective masks. So Burberry, for example, has Burberry designed protective masks. You can sit and say no one's going to buy our goods, or come up with things that people do need to buy. So we're seeing this sort of entrepreneurship taking place. These, again, short-term responses that are taking place. 3M is another company that we are familiar with, and we can see 3M doing the same thing. You go on the website. Historically, if you went on the website, the first thing you would see is home office and school supplies, because that's where there was a lot of profits to be made. But if you go now on the website, and you can see on the screen, the very first thing they show you is personal protective equipment. And they've got the most amount of products in that category now. It's not by chance, it's an actual response. So how quickly you can respond to the changes, that's the entrepreneurial mindset. So we're seeing practical examples of this. So I'm about to finish off, but let me just talk about what it means for the second part. So we've been talking about the short-term returns or short-term strategies. What can we expect in the long run? Well, if we do go with this idea that this will be the new normal, this will change it will change the way we do things, we have to realize that consumers have changed. We will now, because we've had 3-4 months to get used to electronic communication via Zoom and other forms, we've realized that a lot of things can be done without physically being there. So the new normal would require businesses and organizations to provide a combination of physical and online activities. So I've put in there, what about universities? Will universities take advantage of it? Will students now expect part of the activities to be online? So this blended mode that a lot of institutions have been talking about, the blended mode of delivery of online and face-to-face, it's been discussed for years. It's now practically happening. Will universities be in a position to continue on with it? Google and Twitter have been two companies that have already said that we will allow our employees to work from home. And think about the message that's being sent. You can work from your own home. You don't have to travel to work. It saves you time, it saves you money. And we're a good organization because it also helps reduce carbon emission. So will that continue in the future? Will that be the new normal? It's more a question from my side rather than a statement. But there are some serious questions being asked. One of them is, do companies need to have large offices? If people have been able to work from home, do organizations need to have so much of their capital invested in assets that don't need to be used? Do we need to have large parking lots in buildings? So these are, again, questions that need to be considered. But the most important one perhaps is, what does it mean for this economic nationalism? Because if you look at the message coming out for the last few months, there's talk about boycotting goods from China, buying more local. The fact is, if your country is closed, like Australia is at the moment, and if you want to go on holidays, you can only go within Australia. So domestic consumption, domestic travel will increase. We will see more people buying locally made goods because even the supply chains are slower for coming from around the world. So there are a lot of implications of that. This will probably give more credibility to this idea of economic nationalism and political nationalism. So in a sense, someone like myself, who is an international business researcher, this is a negative because we're going to go back. But there's a number of opportunities, and I know there are not only academic professors today here, but also some PhD students. There's a lot of areas for research that are coming up. In the short term, you would have seen journals doing special issues on COVID-19. But the longer term, there's a lot of implications for it. So if anyone is in the area of supply chain, the supply chain literature is getting really affected by it. If you're in tourism, hospitality area, there's a lot of research to be done in that space. Entrepreneurship, of course, there's huge amounts. Forbes magazine has just highlighted this to take advantage of it. And not forgetting human resource management. I think anyone doing human resource management has to think about the implications of it. Developed world is developing partly because of the brain gain they get from emerging economies. The best talent move away from the home countries and go to other places. The United States has now officially announced they will not allow any foreign talent to come in for a while. So emerging firms now, or emerging countries now, have the opportunity to have their own brain gain. They can use the talent they had because they've got no options to go overseas and apply that talent. So I think the human resource area, the talent management area, is extremely open for new research to come in. So that's something for us to consider, where we see research in the future. But from an entrepreneurship point of view, I think small entrepreneurs working with either government institutions or larger firms in an institutional environment that gives them the support they need, we will see a new wave of consumer apps, a new wave of support apps, especially in countries where there's aging population and advanced technology may not be so simple for people of an elderly age. New apps to give them support will be extremely important. Before I finish up, one quick example. We're all familiar with smartwatches Apple has and so forth. Now, they're extremely good, and most of us can use it without any problems because we're on the phone, we know how technology works. But the lack of physical contact for the elderly means that at times they're vulnerable. They don't have people looking after them. There's a startup company in Australia that's come up with a smartwatch for the elderly, which basically doesn't require them to do much. They just put it on their wrist and it communicates with their family. And if there's any problems like heartbeat is slow or there isn't a pulse response or slow pulse response, they'll be notified immediately, the family members. So again, these sort of consumer apps is more about getting the ideas, and entrepreneurs are doing that. So I see a lot of this coming up in the next few months and years. So thank you again, and I'll stop my presentation there, and I look forward to your questions, feedbacks, and suggestions, and learning from your ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Indeed, Professor Rama. Before we continue to the next presentation, I would like to highlight some point that really very important. I think Professor Rama have highlighted that during this pandemic era, the economy going to be closed economy, and then everybody want to share domestically, but at the same time, the innovative actions is rising, and then new company or new startup is developed very fast, and then so many opportunity coming from the disruption area, disruption situation by COVID-19. I would like to let Dr. Mahrina to share her presentations. Dr. Mahrina, are you still connected? Dr. Mahrina? Hello? Bu Mahrina? Okay. It seemed that Dr. Mahrina have trouble with her connection. I would like to as Professor Rama, there are, in the chat room, I find questions from Astuti, Mimi Astuti Bulukadang Gorontalo. Her questions is how entrepreneurs can identify, seize, exploit opportunities, and create sustainable competitive advantage in order to create wealth creation in this new normal area. Even though you have already very clearly mentioned that so many new opportunities are coming in business environment today, but please again elaborate to respond these questions. The question in the chat room. Can
Sure.
you please?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, that's actually a very good question. Thank you very much for that. I think the key to that question is the term sustainable competitive advantage. And if we look at what the literature tells us, sustainable competitive advantage can only be achieved if there is something unique that can't be copied. And the problem with entrepreneurial solutions is that at the moment they're short term. So for an entrepreneurship to be able to seize on something, it will have to be seize, take advantage, but keep upgrading and updating. So again, I'll give you the example of Skype. So if you look at Skype, first one to come up with this idea of online chats, online digital communication. What Skype wasn't very good at or didn't keep up with was to continue on with new ideas. Skype's whole idea was that we've come up with a new way of doing it. The problem is others can replicate it. So then came Zoom. Now, if you look at what Zoom has got, Zoom is not that safe at the moment because Google is pushing really hard for Google Meet to come up as the next option instead of Zoom. Zoom's main advantage at the moment is it can have, I mean, I'm just looking at the number of participants here. We've got over 150 participants at the moment. Zoom can handle that. Google Meets can't. Skype can't. So there will be a new startup that will try and take advantage of it. So the thing is, if it has to be sustainable, it has to be always updated. It always has to move into something newer to take advantage of. So something unique has to come. So I think that's a very good question, but it's looking constantly in the environment and finding out new opportunities and maybe even moving away from what you do to something different. Uber moving from delivery of people from one place to another to now delivery of food with Uber Eats. So it's a constant new technology application in new opportunities, I'd say. Thank you.
Thank you for the response, Professor Rama. Dr. Marina, are you okay? Can you hear me? Unmute. Dr. Marina, can you unmute yourself? Okay. Dr. Marina is joining simultaneously another meeting, but I think, can you please you deliver your presentations for the next 30 minutes? Okay, please. Can you share your screen? If you cannot share the screen, I will. The host will help you.
Oh, can you see?
Yeah, host.
Can you see that?
No, not yet.
Okay, please, the host.
The
Please
host.
show the host. Yeah, the host.
sendiri tahun 2010 kita mendapatkan akreditasi A dari BNPB, kemudian saat ini kita akreditasi internasional.
Halo, Pak Ai. Halo, Mr. Ai. Halo.
Hello. The host is still working on it. So if you isn't it? Okay. Dr. Marina, would you please, if you can share by yourself?
Oh, cannot. Oh, sorry, it's okay. Host disable participant screen sharing. Please. The host disable participant screen sharing, so I cannot share it. Is there any problem with the technical? Can I? Hello? Hello? Can I solve the?
Bu Marina, you can
Yeah.
now share your screen, please.
Okay. The host disable participant screen sharing, so I don't know why. Hello? I cannot show this my PPT because the host disable my screen sharing. Hello,
Okay, wait a
Pak.
minute.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes. Disable, able. Try, you try.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you try, Bu Marina? Yes,
Yeah,
please
I
try.
have.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, can you see my PPT?
Yes,
Mr.
very
Ai?
good. Yes,
Okay.
please. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Let me present my material here. First of all, I would like to say thank you for inviting me to present talking about the business opportunity and strategy in new normal. I would like to say the Honorable for Rector the University of Lampung, Professor Karumani, the Honorable Mr. Professor Ramal Hussein. So welcome again. Yeah, even though we physically far distant from here, but I feel that you are in here, Mr. Ramal Hussein. Okay, I would like to continue, and then okay, the Honorable for the all, especially for the moderator, Mr. Dr. Ai Hadiat, for all the participants here, from all of the University of Forum Rector. Yeah, I think that Forum Rector from all the university in Indonesia is about 36, the public state university. Okay, then all the participants included from my colleague in University of Lampung. Okay, I would like to continue. First time Professor Ramal said that why new normal? Yeah, we know that this is the global pandemic. Yeah, because of what we face now, that pandemic of the COVID-19, I would like to show the number for the global situation here. There is a confirmed cases. It's about 9 million, almost 10 million. I get this in last date in 28th of June in 2020, and from that confirmed cases, about the death is about 4,095 and 76. This is the condition of the COVID in the global situation. This situation is based on the region by the WHO numbers. Indonesia is part of the Southeast Asia. We still in the middle, yeah, because that is still in the middle. It's about 735,000. It's almost 1 million. Okay, that's why I just want to continue the material. What will happen in Indonesian specific in a specific country whenever the Indonesian facing the pandemic COVID-19. Okay. As I saw before that the Indonesian is part of the Southeast Asia, we still in the middle and lower than the Americas, Eastern Mediterranean, and Europe. As the most number get the cases of the COVID-19 is from the American countries. Okay, I would like to show you the number how the cases of the COVID-19 in Indonesia based on the last date that I got the sources from the COVID-19 .gov. This is the number, the most number cases COVID-19 in East Java. This first one, and the second one is in DKI Jakarta, and it's almost we can see that after that is South Sulawesi and Central Java. Especially in Lampung, we still very happy, even though we got the cases also. We still in the low number. Low number. Is close to the central of Sulawesi, and then Bangka Belitung. From this number, I would like to show, it means that numbers show that all the COVID cases in Indonesia is increases until now. Until now. So it's better. We have to be careful how this number we can cut it down. We hope we got the 0 cases, but I don't know when that 0 cases will be existing. Okay, so I would just want to confirm that from that numbers we call that red zone. Red zone. Sorry, Jakarta, East Java, Surabaya, is the city with we call that the most red zone for the COVID cases. Okay. So it's I agree with the Professor Ramal. He saw the effect of COVID because of the global pandemic. In a global situation, the problem here, especially in Indonesia, even though Mr. Ramal saw the number, the growth of the global economic growth is cut down. Get the minus, for example, in Mexico, minus 80%, in America is minus 50%. Now, Indonesia, if we compare to the global condition, Indonesia still, we can. I would like to say that it's still healthy. It's still healthy because of the COVID. is about -3%. We got is about in the number in 2020, based on the Bappenas data or the Ministry of the National Development. Okay, can you see all? Yeah. If we compare, whenever the pandemic of the SARS or Ebola, Indonesia, we compare to the pandemic in SARS, we can see that, yeah, the SARS, I think we still not very worse, yeah, if we compare to the conditional of the COVID-19, yeah. The same as in Ebola, we still have a positive growth of economic, Indonesian economic growth. Okay. Another condition that I got the data information from the Bappenas, yeah, the Ministry of the Development, National Development. Because of the pandemic crisis, the Indonesian, not the Indonesian economic growth is getting low, getting down. Decrease is about -3%. That is because of the the forces of the financial sector and the forces from the sectorial, real sector, and then there is a problem from the social economic activity in our society, and then because of the healthy crisis. Okay. In the financial crisis sector, that is the kind of the economic crisis, we call it global crisis. As you see before, Mr. Professor Ramal saw that the numbers is very highest numbers for the getting the economic growth. Yeah, loss is about in the phase maybe about is 50%, 30%, something like that. Okay, so what's next? What should we do? How to find out the condition of the crisis, the condition of the problem, because now we know that we enter the new normal, we cannot stay in pandemic era. We have to move to the new condition, what we call that new normal. So what is the new normal? I would like to say that there is a changing in people behavior. Not just stay in pandemic, we have to move out to continually carry out the normal activities, with the addition of implementing health protocols to prevent the COVID-19 transmission. So what we have to do, what we must do for that in that new normal. So because this, we have to change our behavior, we have to change our mindset, and we have to change, we call that, change all that mindset and behavior to the, we in global term, we call that changing paradigm. Sorry. Okay. How? We can change our behavior. We change our paradigm. I would like to see from the two perspective condition. First, we have to find out for the business or for the entrepreneurs, we have to find out what is the business opportunity that we have to catch up. Okay. And the second one, we have to find out the new strategy in order to move our business and our economic growth to increase again, yeah, not going down, and we hope to go increase is about what the our president Jokowi need to increase is about 7 to 9% as last year in 2019. Okay, so first of all, I would like to cite it from the McKinsey review of the COVID-19. They say that consumers now tend to be more selective in shopping and start to think of the needs that they are felt to be the most beneficial to the consumer themselves. Just as you see from the pictures, yeah, the consumer using the hand gloves, and then you bring the shopping bags, yeah, by themselves, and then they close their using the mask, close their mouths, yeah, okay, for protecting the transmission of the COVID-19. So the business idea, yeah, this is our choice, yeah, for specific for the entrepreneurs who run the business, yeah, toward the new normal. Okay. What we have to do, especially for the entrepreneurs, for the entrepreneur, so we have to find out the business opportunities. Yeah, we have to move. The entrepreneur can change their line business to the new product line, or they change out of going business, yeah, to the other sector of business, yeah, or stay of the business, the last business, and move to find out another or other kind of the business sectors. Okay. First, I would like to say, so here, based on our, this is our research here, our observation from the condition of the consumer behavior, what we have, where they find out the kind of the new the product is, we call that frozen or durable food, the first one. The second one is online vegetable and fruit. The frozen food, okay, the belief for the consumer, they believe that the frozen food, this is a kind of the to protect their from the worst of the food, yeah, is kind of the green product, yeah, kind of the healthy product and green product. We try to buy the frozen food or durable food. The second one, online vegetable and fruit. The online vegetable and fruit, you can what we can see here, also all the almost the businessmen, yeah, the entrepreneurs find out they sell from home, yeah, and offering to the home, to the household by online platform. Yeah, at least they market their product by using WhatsApp or using IG, Instagram, or using Facebook. Yeah, this we can get it from the WA. Yeah, so many fruit and vegetable online marketed using the social media. And the third one, we try to offer about the herbal drinking for the new business. Yeah, even though Indonesia last period before pandemic coming, yeah, the herbal drink is kind of the traditional food. Yeah, and I think that's almost the people, especially from the village, yeah, from the urban area, they like to drink the herbal food as to maintain their health, yeah, to maintain their health. And this kind of the product can be improved more. Yeah, we can market globalize. Okay, we can market yes, globalize. I think this is the third opportunities. Okay, the fourth one. All the kind of the business must use the online service business. Yeah, this is the most issues now. Yeah, I know we know that some household they're afraid to go outside. Yeah, and even though not afraid, all the businessmen afraid also, they close their store, they close their product. Yeah, so the best way is to find out the business using the online services. And the last one, you can see here, now in new normal, the businessmen have to move out to open again with the last kind of business and all the last new product line, or the last or the new other sectors. And the last one, the sanitary and self-protection equipment. Yeah. Okay. I saw this kind of the healthy product. Yeah. And sometimes there is a kind of the service for the sanitary business now still a trend issue. Yeah, this trend issue for the businessmen, especially in Indonesia. They offer the consultation for the sanitary condition. I think this is the new opportunity, and I know that the Indonesian people now try to explore, yeah, what kind of business they have to build. Why? As Professional Rama said, that many companies, yeah, they lay off the employees. They lay off the employees. So many job loss here. Yeah. As I get the number in yesterday, we call that the transportation online service from Gojek. Yeah, Gojek cut off or lay off the employees about 427. You can imagine.
Dr.
This
Marina,
is from the Gojek. Yeah.
Five more minutes, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay. That's the business opportunity that we offering. This what I said before, you can see here. Yeah, so many sanitary consultation business, and then join online service using the business community digital, and then they offer the product like the frozen product, we call that here from the Padangnis, yeah, rendang daging sapi, and so many kind of type of the master, yeah, that the businessmen offer in Indonesia especially. Okay. So the other strategy is what we call that digital entrepreneurship strategy. What, why, and how? Okay. What is this? Is creating new venture in and transforming existing business by developing novel digital technologies. I got it from the European Commission. And the top 6 trend in the digital entrepreneurship, we can know that m-commerce, digital freelance work, electronic service, crowdfunding, e-payment, the payment, the Internet of Things, we call the IoT. Why? Yeah, the digital entrepreneurship is superhero now. Yeah, so all the business jump to the market their product using the digital platform. Yeah, we know that people afraid going out, they stay at home. People need refreshing. The online marketing is the trend issue because they can cut off the cost of the advertising, something like that, and then they can improve their massive branding. Okay, this is, I think, the important thing, the user of the internet also. In Indonesia, this is improved, yeah. In 2019, increase is about 13% from the previous years. Okay, especially for the small medium enterprise, we know that small and medium enterprise in Indonesia, the harder condition whenever they face the pandemic, COVID-19. So that's the small medium enterprise also have the fewer resources and maybe they have less experience, so they cannot do anything if they just stay offline. So they have to use the digital activities. Okay, I think the how, yeah, they have to develop new model for doing business, perfecting your digital business process, and begin with the experience or experiment the skill of the cycle of the for this special for the small business. I would like to show what is the impact if we solve that our problem using the strategy of the digital entrepreneurship and try to find out the business opportunity, the new business opportunity. In Amazon, yeah, they use the digital entrepreneurship. They growth of their business performance is about 50% in 50-71% in 2020, 45% in 2019. In 21, expect to be 50%. You can see here job creation also more increase. Yeah, it's about 15 million job. Yeah, to be 100 billion. Yes, about 100 billion US dollar taxation gains from the moving change their paradigm. Another digital impact, young entrepreneurs now, yeah, from the the research of the MIT University in Australia, your young entrepreneur is becoming driver's force to build the entrepreneurs based on the digital entrepreneurship. I think I would like to conclude what we have here. We need more online business relevant with the new normal scenario. Developing new digital business through, yeah, the main here, if we cannot do anything, we can make it build the channeling network. The channeling network by a reseller online or by following the digital business community for small business entrepreneur. And the last but not least, the government support for developing infrastructure of ICT to get lower cost accessibility, for user or for the business entrepreneurs, especially for the small medium enterprise in Indonesia. Thank you, Mr. Ayah Mr. Ayah. Okay, return to you.
Of the screen share.
Yeah. Hello. I cannot see your voice. I cannot hear your voice. Halo Pai. Halo Pai. Halo. Halo Pai. Halo. Tidak bisa kelihatan, tidak ada suara. Halo Pai. Ya, halo. Ya.
Connection problem. Thank you. Connection. Thank you, Bu Marina.
Ya. Ya, oke.
I have already and her to that in that room, cannot agree. Who ask a question, if you in the I use
Hello?
Ya, halo. Ya, please.
Okay. Pak Muslim is still in the room. He has questions. Okay. Everybody, Bapak dan Ibu sekalian, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please raise your hand or give reactions to the, or either you can also chat, write your question in the chat room. Okay. Bu Mahrina has already mentioned that the COVID-19 very hardly impact the small business in Indonesia, small and medium enterprise in Indonesia. I think he is very right. She is very right to mention that, and then especially the small business in the tourism sectors. And then also Professor Rama already mentioned in his presentations. I'm thinking about the principle foundation of thinking the entrepreneurship by Schumpeter, the creative distractions must be applied to these situations. I would like to give the to give opportunity asking questions by participants. And host, please unmute, and then everyone who has questions, you can write questions and then mention the questions. Anybody? Okay, Professor Rama, if compare.
Hello, Professor Rama, are you still connected?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay. Can you give more elaborations regarding the disruptions in by COVID-19? As you might probably know, the situation that we are facing in Indonesia. We saw so many small business that create the national economy, and then more than half of small business in Indonesia are disrupted. And then, but at the same time, also as you mentioned, there are so many new things, so many new business line, especially supported the situation that we are cannot work in the usual working place. Compared to the Western world, can you mention how can you recommend for a country like Indonesia? Or
Sure,
you're also coming from Pakistan, right? And then you can also compare to Pakistan probably. Please.
That's right. Thank you very much. I think countries like Indonesia have a great advantage, and that's the size of the population. When you look at countries in the West, population is limited. Australia has a population of 22 million. I think Jakarta is close to that, or if it's not more. So when you've got small countries, external reliance is heavily there. I think what Indonesia has is the fact that it also has national boundaries that connect with other countries. So if Southeast Asia, not just Indonesia, Southeast Asia, Malaysia, and Singapore can overcome this pandemic or at least flatten the line, I think in that region, there's a lot of advantages to be had. So it is, while there is this push for economic nationalism, I think Southeast Asia can take the lead, especially Indonesia, in showing the world that Southeast Asia can have a business and travel bubble, which means that let countries have entrepreneurship on what they do best. So Singapore can still be the hub for R&D. Indonesia and Malaysia could be more hub for small entrepreneurial startups. That could be an advantage. Other countries don't have that. I mean, if you look at China, it's got a lot of political problems at the moment with other countries. It makes it harder. It's never been in a traditional regional bloc. I can see from one of the questions from Muslimin in the chat asking the same thing, is there going to be a balance between the West and the East? China was trying to get into or create its own bloc by having the Belt and Road Initiative. Now that's getting affected quite a lot. India has problems with neighboring countries, and so does Pakistan. So India and Pakistan cannot cause a bloc to work either. So I think countries like Indonesia, there's a lot of hope. And from what Professor Marina Sari has been showing, the economy actually is already in a positive state. So it's not that negative. It will bounce back. So I see a lot of positives for entrepreneurs in Indonesia, as long as they can try and work and take advantage of the large population they have.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Rama. We have questions in the chat room. Actually, there are more questions before we just disconnect a few moments ago. We have questions from someone from Humas Unila to all speakers. What step can be taken by entrepreneurs in order to maintain sustainability of their business? What do you think about to get coaching sessions from experts? Will it be effective to have them to survive during COVID-19? You can also read by yourself on the chat room. Would you please, Professor Rama, to respond to that question?
I think it's a very good point. And I think if you look at just things like LinkedIn, you're seeing a lot of people trying to get coaching and training at the moment. A lot of universities and education institutions are providing free training, including the large management corporations, consulting firms. The thing is, we are in, the new normal is unprecedented. So even the experts are not that sure of what is happening or what is going to happen. We can all make predictions. So I think upskilling individually is a very good idea. especially if I look at what the presentation of Professor Marina Sari with digital entrepreneurship. I think for entrepreneurs to learn that skill, how will they survive in the digital age? Learning about things like, modeling and data analysis with art, those will be the sort of skills that would really help. So I would be very keen to hear about Professor Marina Sari's views on this as well.
Okay. Thank you. Professor Marina, can you please respond also to the questions in the chat room?
Okay.
Bu Marina, are you still?
Yes, yes.
Okay, please, please respond.
You see me? Okay, thank you very much. Okay. As I said before, that how to get out from the going down of the business. At least we have to survive. Yeah, survive from updated our business. Especially, I focusing on the small medium enterprise condition. As you know that the small medium enterprise now, this the harder one. They get the COVID pandemic condition. Yeah. Because why? They have less resources. They have less experience, less education. I think, yeah, the first one for the small medium enterprise price, especially for the smash, yeah, I think it's better for them, yeah, because they have less experience, less education. They have to take much more the upscaling their education, their was the model or the modeling of the business. Maybe now we have to move our paradigm, yeah, by taking the what you said, that the kind of the coaching, free training, and as I know here, many business webinar they're offering free, and they get the certificate of that training. Yeah, as I saw before, kind of the community business of the kind of the business community, digital community. They offering almost all day free kind of the training, yeah, free seminar how to build their the business entrepreneurs to stay, survive, and to improve their product if by using their digital platform. Yeah. As I read before also in Australia, having the kind of the community of the digital business community, they give the free service if there is something less resources of the small business enterprise. They can join there and they sell their product without fee, without cutting fee from their after their what we call that royalty of the from the selling of their product. I think it's better. For example, we are from the university. We have to dedicate. We have to devote our what's knowledge, our skill to deliver, to upscaling the knowledge or the experiences of the small medium enterprise. Yeah, especially we are here from the business school. Yeah, I think every year we give the knowledge. Yeah, we share the knowledge to the small medium enterprise by community service training. I think this is kind of the solution to help them to be survive in the business. I think. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ayahadia.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bu Marina. I think we have another questions. The interesting thing that the interesting point delivered by Professor Rama, the situation of new normal is unprecedented. So there is no reference from the previous situation. So we are really challenged to think out of the box, and then very much have to be creative. And then Dr. Marina also stressed the point we have to do in the digital platform. Thank you. I think we move to another question in the chat room. It is about the agriculture sectors. In Indonesia, especially in our province of Lampung, we are very much dominated by the agriculture sectors. But in the same time, the farmer not really appreciated or give the equal price at least, or farmer here not making profit very well. They spend money for much more input, and then they got the selling price lower than it should be. So basically, farmer is really unprofitable. Farming activities is really unprofitable because of the pandemics, because of the disrupted supply chains, because of the new habit. I think we want to hear from Professor Rama's view and Dr. Rinari with regard to the farming or agriculture sectors in Indonesia. Agriculture sectors is has big portions of the economy, but it is really facing a big challenge during this pandemic era. Can you please, Professor Rama, respond to that questions?
Thank you. Again, very good question. In Indonesia, I would probably have less knowledge about the agriculture sector, but I can give some examples from around the world. So we've got two issues. One is the current pandemic, but also let's not forget we already had a climate change issue. So we had bushfires in Australia at the end of last year, which were really quite devastating. So we've got issues with water scarcity around the world. I think the question itself is already highlighting a positive. It's talking about what can be done as young entrepreneurs. And again, I'll refer to what I've been saying, but also what Professor Marina said. Think about new ways of doing it. So if agriculture products are in abundance and it's cheaper at the moment, well, you can help the farmer by getting it on the right price, but don't just sell the product as it is. Do some value added to it. Okay, so for example, if it's wheat, take and make something out of it and make food. You know, we're talking about food delivery at home is increased. You can take advantage of that. You can do the same about thinking, well, there are so many Indonesian expatriates around the world. They can't come back to Indonesia for a while, not basically because Indonesia won't let them in, but travel restrictions, maybe from the countries where they are. So an opportunity to buy agricultural goods, convert them into edibles or other forms, and then export them around the world, especially to countries where there's Indonesian expatriates in large numbers. That's essentially what a lot of expatriates have started doing from Philippines and also from China, because a lot of the expatriates repatriate their funds back to the home country. That's also going to dry up a bit. So taking advantage of that as an entrepreneur, starting up something new and selling it. And we're seeing that with companies like Starbucks. You know, you can't sell coffee because people aren't coming to your cafe. So what have they done? Everyone's now got coffee machines at home. So they're now selling these coffee pods, Starbucks coffee pods through supermarkets. So if the consumer can't come to you, find out ways to get to the consumer. So they're value added, taking their coffee beans, put it in pods and selling them at supermarket and making a lot of profit. So I think there's still opportunities for entrepreneurs to think about value added things in there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Marina, would you like to respond to that question?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ari. Yeah. Okay. As I'm still doing research about the condition, the organic foods now. Yeah, I'm still doing about that. I try to find out the numbers, the issue, the trend issue of the agricultural product. Yeah, especially for the young people, yeah, the young entrepreneurs. I think I agree with the Professor Ramal. They have to find out the value added of that product. Yeah. Now we can, for example, because of the pandemic, many households afraid to go out. Okay, they just want they do not want to go out to the traditional market. They going out to the supermarket, what we call it modern market, and in the modern market, they try to find out the organic food, kind of the frozen food and the organic food from the agricultural product. Okay, I just get the information before. So many now the household they take a benefit from their gardens. Yeah, the space of the garden is free. They try to do the business with the hydroponic agricultural product, kind of the pak choy. Yeah. Why? Yeah, pandemic is issue the healthy. Now the trend issue of the consumer behavior is try to find out the healthy food. So yeah, they now turn to buy, yeah, the increasing to buy the kind of the organic food. Okay, even though the organic food offer the high price than the traditional food. That's I am thinking about that. Please find out the new one, yeah, related with the new normal, yeah, and then many people, the buyers, the consumer or buyers now try to find out the healthy product. The agricultural healthy product, what we have here, we can see from the organic food. I think that's all, Pak Hadiat. Thank you. Hello. Hello, Pak. Turn to you. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Hello?
Hello, yes. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. We have unstable connection here. I find another questions from Ratna Septinawati in the chat room. Bu Ratna asks a questions for directly to Prof. Ramal. One of impact of this pandemic is many people lost their jobs, and then economic growth getting flung, getting down, and then many companies lay off their employee, and then what strategy to take the in order how to survive? What strategy for the entrepreneur skill, yeah, to face these situations? I think You can also, Prof. Ramal, directly read in the chat room to respond to questions. Yes, thank you, please.
Thank you very much. Again, thank you, Ratna, for the question. I think we were again heading in that direction, because if you look at last year, there was already talk that about 25% of the United States workforce would be out of job with the electronics and robotics coming in, and China was going to be about 40%, because we were going to automate a lot of jobs. Now, what can entrepreneurs do to overcome this and make themselves more marketable in a job? I think there are two sides to it. There's explicit knowledge and there's tacit knowledge. Explicit knowledge is the knowledge your question is referring to, the technical knowledge. Everyone can gain that. But there is the tacit knowledge idea. And I would encourage anyone, be it an academia or entrepreneurs, to really develop their networks and connections, because we all learn so much from other people that we can't learn just from books or online courses. The interaction with each other. So a future for entrepreneurs is not just going to be about the knowledge they have, it's also about the connections they have. They're going to act as middlemen, as agents. So I think for future opportunities, think about just the example from what Professor Marina was saying. Oh, it was a very good point about organic food and frozen food. Entrepreneurs can be the middleman between agricultural farmers and the supermarkets. So I think that networking, being connected, learning new things, and it doesn't have to be learning technical things, it's just learning new things, what people are doing, how it can be applied in different parts of the world. That's where entrepreneurs can become invaluable to organizations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Ramal. This is basically tacit knowledge is another soft skill, to handle the opportunity. Let's see. So the way to handle the job layoff is creation of another job, which is the role of entrepreneur to face this situation. So we kind of action and reaction. I think we have someone raise her hand. Ibu Sri Hasnawati, do you want to raise your questions? We give you directly, you can mention the questions. Host, please unmute. Ibu Sri Hasnawati, do you want to ask something? Please. Oh, unmute. Mute. Okay, I think bisa di mute semua, Pak Dedi. Pak Dedi mute semua. Okay, Bu Marina, are you still there? Are you still in the room? Bu Marina, can you hear me? Okay, Professor Rama, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. We have some problem. Our system interviewed by another forum. So I think we are arriving to the end of the seminar. I would like to let Professor Rama to give a closing statement, closing conclusion, wrap up your materials, and then I believe your enlightenment today, it is very valuable for us. Professor Rama, this seminar is joined by many lecturers, also students from the whole part of Indonesia, from so many university, and then I believe that you are getting more popular right now in Indonesia. And then someday, maybe in the next future, many friends, colleagues that join this seminar will contact you directly, and then Googling you, and then try to collaborate with you. Please, Professor Rama, give your wrap-up statement, please.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd just like to thank you for moderating a very good session. Thank you very much. Thank you to Professor Marina Sari for extremely insightful views. Thank you for everyone for attending. There's a huge number, so this is very well organized, and thank you for all the questions. I think if I could sum it up very quickly, I would say these are very interesting times. These are times where we can feel overwhelmed, but also this is time for great opportunity. For us in the university, in academia, I think this is a great time for also to focus and get more research done, but also to look after ourselves and each other. And I think there's great opportunities. We're using Zoom, and we can see there's no barriers to national boundaries anymore to communicate. So I would just take what you said. Feel free to contact me. I would love to work with more people from Indonesia, of course. I have very good colleagues there, and I look forward to more communication like this. So that's all I can say. Thank you. Thank you again for organizing this.
Thank you very much. Bu Marina, can you give pesan-pesan?
Yes, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hadiat. I would like to say thank you first of all to my special colleagues here, Professor Hussein Hamal, that we together with to give the special speech here, and hope all the participants can take the benefit what we share our information. Yeah. Especially we are talking about the entrepreneurship, but we are what I would like to call for all us, yeah, even though we are as a civil servant, yeah. I think our beside we have a student here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, so
yeah, maybe it's about 60% of us is a civil servant. As Mr. Hadiat have enter what kind of the coffee shop business, yeah, Mr. Hadiat. I just want to encourage to motivate us. We try to build the business, even though we are a civil servant. What we call that camat lah ya, gitu ya Pak Ai ya. Cari makanan tambahan gitu ya. But not just thinking about the side business. We would like to create the business because of we would like to help the people unemployment people to get involved with us to together with building the new ventures. I think the the last statement that I would like to share it, Mr. I. And the second one, if you cannot, we would like to try to build the new venture. We try to learn first from like the business webinar series, from other from the organization or the kind of that I informed before, that there is a business community, a digital community in Indonesia. They give the seminar free, and they give the how to build the platform to market your product. This is the second one. The last one, I think, as I did, I tried to to get involved with the reseller, with what called the business channeling using through the reseller online. I think this is the least, at least that we can do to increase our economic activity and to boost the Indonesian economic growth also. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you very much, Mr. Ai. Hope we are success all. Thank you. Thank you, Pak Ai.
Thank you very much, Bu Marina. Prof. Ramal, we conclude our seminar today. We are very happy to have you with us here in Indonesia. So many colleagues coming from so many various universities in Indonesia. I believe they are very interesting to follow up your view and join the research with Professor Ram and Professor Marina.